the next one is called asteya. Asteya means no stealing. Heard that before? Thou shalt not steal. In the yoga text too. Don't steal. Don't take what other people. Don't take what doesn't belong to you. Don't take what belongs to other people. Right? Why? Same reason. You don't want people taking from you. You don't want stealing. Nobody likes to have things stolen from them. So why do we do it to others? You see, it's just a matter, in a way, ethical system is just a matter of common sense. It's just a matter of like acting out of our own self-interest. Nobody likes having things stolen. You know, have you ever had some, walk back into your apartment or house and had it broken into? And it's just like, you feel totally violated. You feel like, oh my God, And that's exactly how it feels when you steal from others. That's how they feel too. So why would you ever do that? And you go, oh, I haven't broken into any houses. Well, that's not the only way that we steal. If you have a job, for example, if you work in an office, chances are you stole. Chances are maybe you're stealing like on a regular basis. I used to work in an office. And I need some paper clips, take some paper clips home, and maybe a stapler, for my home office. Or minimally, like you're on the phone to your friends or something like that. Your boss isn't paying you to talk to your friends at the job. Your boss isn't paying you to, surf the internet or whatever you do. See, that's stealing. Or how about using up resources needlessly that other people won't be able to have in the future? Is that a form of stealing? Sometimes the Dalai Lama comes to the West and he's like, says, just turn off the lights when you're not in the room. Come on, Like, stop wasting all these resources when other people don't have them. So that's stealing. Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya, they have translated here nicely, keeping sexual purity, which sounds good. Here's another version of it. Maybe you've heard this before. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Heard that? So that means don't sleep with people who are in committed relationships with other people. It's not going to work out for you. It's just going to, even without, never mind karma, okay? It just never works out. It just really never works out. And people get hurt, okay, really, really badly. People get hurt who are being cheated on, you see. They're being cheated on. There's a form of lying in a way. But it's really, really bad. It's really bad. And if you don't want people cheating on you, if you want to have nice relationships, loyal partners and so forth, how the hell are you going to get that if you're cheating on others, you see? Every form of this kind of problem in a relationship has come from this cause. From you doing something like that in the past to someone else. Everyone. Nothing's random. So you don't want this to happen to you, don't do it to others. And when we are in the throes of what we call mental affliction, like for example lust, we don't use our heads very well. We don't think things through very well, and we start to like make all kinds of excuses for why actually this is a good idea. If we were calm and collected and so forth, we would realize like right away, oh my God, what a mistake this is. So I'll just tell you a quick little story. I had a student who studied for many years, who studied Buddhism for many years. And in Buddhism, of course, the same as in the yoga text. Saying, don't do that kind of thing. Don't sleep with people who are in committed relationships. She comes to me, after many years of study, she comes to me and says, I've fallen in love. And I said, well, that sounds good so far. I didn't actually say that, but that sounds good. I should have said so far. She says, yeah, I've met my soulmate. We're soulmates. I said, oh, that's really beautiful. Who is he? She said, well, he's a married man. I said, wow. Well, that's, did you remember what we've been teaching you for like three, four years now? That's a really bad idea. Yeah, no, but it's different. It's different. Because, did I mention we were soulmates? It says, yeah, big deal. Have you told his wife? Oh, no, we couldn't do that. That would hurt her so bad. Right? This is how the mind works. A screwed up mind trying to legitimate something that is just not legitimatable. Is that word? Right? And of course, you can predict what happened. She found out, the wife found out 6 months later, and the whole thing blew up. and the damage was, like unbelievable. And the soulmates somehow became not so like interested in each other anymore. Like that relationship also like went down the tubes. The whole thing just blew up. So it's just really a bad idea from every which way. It's just there's this phrase. Maybe you should remember it if you're tempted. There's many fish in the sea, right? There's a lot of fish in the sea. So why bother with this one that's just going to cause you all kinds of problems? Aparigraha means greed. Don't be greedy. Possessiveness. Don't be. A means not. Pari means around. Graha is related to the word in English grabbing. Graha. Aparigraha means stop being so greedy all the time. Stop always wanting more. Which kind of fades nicely into one of the next verse, the next set of moral guidelines called niyams. So let's move right along to that. You got the next one right? Shaucha, the one that begins shaucha? Yeah. I forgot what I put in here. I think it's this one. So, the commitments, these are the niyamas, the thou shalts, you could say. The commitments. Shaucha, purity. Santosha, contentment. So if you don't have parigraha, if you are parigraha, if you're not greedy all the time, then you'll be more likely to be santosha, to be content. Tapas means austerities. Have some ascetic austerities. Svajaya means everyday study of sacred text. Ishvara pranidhana means service to the Lord or service to your teacher. So we'll go through these one by one. Shaucha. Shaucha means purity, living a pure life. And the commentaries always say it means two things, at two levels, both levels. Physically and mentally. Physically and mentally. So shaucha means don't be poisoning your body with alcohol, with nicotine, with drugs, with fatty foods, too fatty foods. Your body's a temple, you've heard that before, right? Because it's in this body, it's with a body like this that we could actually reach the highest goals of the spiritual life. You can't reach the highest goals of the spiritual life as a raccoon. It's the human life, you see. It's the human life that affords us a very rare opportunity, actually. In terms of all the kinds of rebirths that we could take, all the kinds of births that we could get, the human life is by far the best one. By far. No comparison. Conditions here are perfect. So have some respect for the body. So that's shaucha. And then at a mental level, what is it that you're putting into your head? So in our day and age, you can think of shaucha here, mental shaucha, as what is it that you regard as entertainment? Do you regard watching other people kill themselves, kill each other, on a big screen or even on a little screen at home as proper entertainment? I suggest to you that in a few years from now, maybe not too long, hopefully, but it's certainly in a few centuries from now, people will look back at us in the same way that we look back at the Romans. Going, oh my God, look what they regarded. The Romans used to bring their whole families to the Colosseum to watch Christians get eaten up by lions and stuff like that. For fun. And people will look back at us as the same way. Oh my God, look what they regarded as entertainment. People getting their heads blown off realistically. Come on. So be careful, okay? Be careful. And if you want to go, there's no problem going to the movies, but there's plenty of good movies that you don't go to Quentin Tarantino movies. That's just, that guy should be disallowed from making movies. He should have disbarred him from movie making or something like that. It's just awful. Awful, awful, awful. And there are plenty of other kind of movies that you can go. Go see Wall-E and movies like that. Fun, nice, interesting movies. That nobody's getting killed. Come on. And if you still have a television after yesterday, did anyone get rid of their television between now and yesterday? No? You should, okay? You should get rid of your TV. Kill your TV. You seen that bumper sticker? And anybody got a bumper sticker like that in Reno? Those are like a smart person. Kill your TV. Get rid of this. The single easiest thing you can do to start living a happier life is to just get rid of the television. The television is toxic. It's a toxic force in our life, not neutral. It's toxic. And the average American now is watching 4.5 hours a day. Average. All right? By the time you're 65, the average American will have spent 9 years of their life watching television. Do the math. 9 years. Come on. This precious human life, short as it is. And we're 9 years by the time we're 65 going, which is mostly watching other people's, other people suffering for our amusement. There's 2 shows on TV. There's the awful show and the stupid show. And then there's commercials in between. The awful show are all the dramas, all the police shows, all the SIS, what are the CIS or whatever it is. Watching people who have been sexually abused for your entertainment, come on. This isn't a sane way to live, okay? So that's the awful show. And all the new shows are awful shows. All the new shows. So, be a lot less informed, okay? Because unless you intend to do something about it, why do you need to know? You see? What is it that you're doing when you're watching CNN for hours and hours and hours? And if you can eat while you're watching those shows, there should be a big problem. If you can go to a movie and get a big jumbo-sized thing of popcorn with an extra-sized thing of Coca-Cola and feed your face and drink, sugar water while you're watching people blown up, there's a problem here. That's not Shaucha. So get rid of the TV. You don't need a TV. You don't need a TV. If you got rid of your TV, you'll find all kinds of spare time to do things like study a text like this, study a yoga text. So read the Bible, or read a Buddhist text. You'll find you have all kinds of time now all of a sudden, and it's really cool. The single biggest excuse I get, and people come to things like this and they hear about I should try to live a different kind of life. The single excuse. Guess what? I'm too busy. I'm too busy to meditate. I'm too busy to be careful about my morality, to be watching my P's and Q's all day. I'm too busy. Well, what are you busy doing? See? And if the answer to that is watching television 4.5 hours a day, well, I got a simple way to get you unbusy. Turn it off. And at least put a cloth on top of it. Nowadays when I go to people's houses to stay, they put cloths on for their TVs because they've heard me rap on TVs and they're embarrassed. So you stay in a place where they have the TVs all wrapped up. So it's really funny. Okay, Shaucha, live a pure life. Watching television is not pure. It's not a way of living pure.